So
That's a fact. You know,
okay,
I'm gonna
so
take you. I'm gonna take you.
hold
Go
on,
ahead.
hold on. I'm gonna start off. I want you to save that.
Yeah.
I
You
want
know
you to
me.
save that.
I dive in.
Yeah, yeah.
They say black people can't swim, but I'm like this.
He said black people- That is definitely going on the show. Hey guys, welcome to the Safe Money Playbook. We are here to inspire, to empower, and give you the X's and O's on how to keep your money safe. Today, I am here with my guys, my family, my boys. Both of them named Aaron. We're not going to confuse you. We got my main man cousin, Aaron Lavender Sr., all right? And then we got my cousin, I won't say baby cousin because you grown as all get out. My man, AJ Lavender Jr. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, AJ and Aaron, man, what's up, fellas? Hey, so
What's
glad you
up,
guys.
fam?
What's happening? What's happening?
Yes, indeed. So, we were chopping up a little bit before we started, right? And like you said, man, they say black people can't swim, but you're gonna dive in. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. So what we were talking about prior to coming on right now, we were talking about the need of protecting yourself, your family, your legacy, and all that. We speak all the time about, getting insurance on yourself. Those people that are relying on you need to be protected when you're gone. All that, all that. But there's one particular piece that I wanted Aaron to talk about today in regards to children covering their parents. Okay. So we always talk about the individual covering yourself so you're not a burden. But sometimes, for whatever reason, as we discussed, it may be maybe financial constraints. It could be just haven't done it yet or not thinking about it. Whatever the reason is. There's children who say, hey, you know what? My parents probably need to get something. If you're that child, right? There are options there. You have the ability to do that. And some years ago, my cousin Aaron took the bull by the horns, and I'm gonna let him tell you the story and what was going on. So, Aaron, if you don't mind, man, let's just chop it up, kind of share with us your experience in regards to where I'm going.
Absolutely. First of all, I want to commend you on doing this because this is so important, not only to our community, but for the community at large, man. It's really important that we had these very tough conversations that a lot of us really don't want to have. But like I was talking to somebody the other day, I said, there's 100% chance that we're all going to die.
Yeah.
We're not going to, they say there's only two things, taxes and death, right? But I say, nah, not taxes, because some people don't even pay their taxes, but you're going to die.
Okay. Hey, yep.
Hey, I know we ain't getting around that.
Yeah. You can't say the other one though. You can't say, well, some people just don't
By the
die.
time.
I'm not paying my tax. Hey, come get me. When Father Time say your time is up, you're out of there.
It's a wrap.
But I want to say this, I'm going to take you back about 10 years ago.
Okay.
About 10 years ago, I was noticing in my own community. And if people don't know me, my name is Aaron Lavender. I own I own two companies now. One was Never Say Never Entertainment, was an entertainment company. I've been owning that for over 20 some years. Now I'm into house development, community development. And about 10 years ago, I also work at help do things at a community center. About 10 years ago, I reached out to people at the community center. I said, hey, I want to hold a seminar. And I remember you were, Mondo, I think you were the one that put on the seminar. It was about 10 years
ago. Yeah, I was. It was me.
Right?
Yeah.
So in the entertainment business, we used to throw parties, right? And the parties used to be packed. I mean, whenever Never Say Never's throwing a party, it's packed. You know what I mean? Right. Everybody's there. People paying $100 just to get into our parties, right?
Yeah.
And this is going somewhere. I'm gonna tie all this in like the one big bow. So I reached out to my cousin Mondo and I said, hey man, can you come down to Monroe and talk about the life insurance part of that? And he said, sure, man. So put up the flyers. We did a seminar, the whole nine. And we didn't get that many people. I'm looking around in my whole community, but I bet you if I threw a party, it would have been packed. Now, mind you, after the party, they go home, celebrate, have a good time, so forth and so on. But they didn't take something as serious. And what I noticed was the reason why I asked you in the first place, because I noticed in my community that a lot of people were passing away and people were going out asking the community for money to help bury their loved ones.
Right.
It was hurtful to me because I know a lot of these people had pride, right? Nobody wants to beg and say, hey, can you help me pay for and it was happening a lot because people just, for some reason, they was passing away, right? It was just crazy. So I said, man, we got to do something about this. We got to talk about life insurance, paying for it, so forth and so on. So even though it wasn't that packed, my mother came and a couple other people came, and I
Hmm.
got my mother signed up for insurance. And to
Mm.
fast forward 2024, my mother passed away, and everything was taken care of. See, insurance is not for the living. No, it's not for the dead. It's for the living, for those that are alive to take care of those things, because you're already dealing with a lot of things. And when
Hmm.
I tell you, my mother passed away, man, everything was taken care of. I didn't have to worry about, this money, because I'm already dealing with the stress of losing a loved
Sure.
one.
Sure.
It's my mother. I mean, that's Mom Dukes. I got it right
Right.
here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
This day, right? And
Yeah.
so you never want to worry about those things. And it's so important. I never want that to happen to my children. I never want to, and it's unfortunate. I got to go to a funeral this Friday from a friend in my community. They lost their mother.
Okay.
So we're seeing this happen more often. We saw a lot of this happen during the pandemic as well, where
Yeah.
people are just passing away, passing away, passing away, and people not having the funding to take care of this. Not only the funding, but the worry of what's going to happen if I don't have insurance. And
Right.
that is surmountable, man. You just can't imagine. And
So
yeah,
take
just
me back though, man, if you don't
yeah,
mind. Sorry to cut you off, but
sure. No, 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 go.
I really want to go back to that day of 10 years plus ago where we signed up, on Pat.
Yeah.
What made you do it? What was the thing that said, self, I need to take care of mom? Like, what was that thing? Because I remember there, I spoke to her, we kicked it, we
Sure.
hung out, like the whole thing. But there was something that some bell went off in your head, like, hold on, I got to make sure I get this taken care of. What was that thing? What happened?
It was prior to that. It was prior to that.
Okay, okay,
Is my
all right.
apologies. I saw too many people in the community, and I
Mm-hmm.
asked my mom, "Are you covered? Do you have insurance?"
Mm.
Nah, I'm good. No, no, no. Wait a second. And that something clicked in my head. It's like, no, now this is happening to my own family now. Now, something
Right,
happens now. You know what I mean?
right.
I don't want that burden on me, because I knew I would have to take care of it. You know what I mean? As being the oldest in the family, I knew. So, and then I saw what was happening was when people were passing away, you had family members fighting, you had siblings fighting, people that wouldn't fight. Now they're in beefing, and it splits the family down the middle of who takes care of what, who does what. And
And what you
that shared up everything. Like, I don't want to go through that. And I don't want nobody else to go through that, because that's a real thing. You know what I mean? That's not something that you just see on television or in the movies or something like that. That stuff really happens, man. And it tears families apart. And I never wanted that to happen for my family, my mother.
Yeah, they say there's more families that break up over death than they do divorce.
Absolutely. I believe it.
And yeah, that's crazy. I do want to go. I'm gonna go back to the same moment again because there's another part I want to ask you about
Sure.
when you had the wherewithal to get on Pat signed up. So, all right, she said to you, you just said it. No, baby, I'm straight. I'm good. Okay, time out. I've been doing this for a long time, Aaron. I have I have heard I'm straight, I'm good.
Oh,
I'll be
yeah,
up. My kids got it. No, we good. The Lord got me. I've heard every version.
sure.
What is that, man? I'm not picking on Aunt Pat. I'm not picking on anyone. I'm just that that lack of logic. I'm only say logic or whatever it is. Being respectful here. I'm trying, man. Like,
No, I understand.
but what is that?
I know exactly what it is.
Okay.
It's the fear of your demise. Is that thing that
Ooh.
you don't want to talk about. Is
Mm,
that, you know what? I don't want to think about death. I'm
yeah.
afraid of death. And
Hmm.
but yet again, it's going to happen.
Hmm.
But a lot of people just don't want to talk about it. They just don't want to talk about it. And unfortunately, it's just a part of our. It's just natural to not want to talk about something because you're living, right? You don't want to talk about you being
Yeah.
in the cemetery. You know what I mean? So I
It
think
is it's tough though. Like, because you think about, yeah, it's tough to have that conversation about your own demise.
sure.
But you realize that somebody's going to be talking about it, whether we
Oh,
talk about it
absolutely.
now or your family going to be talking about it in a different way if you don't do it.
Absolutely. No, you're right.
Somebody talking at some point. You know what I mean? So,
Speaking of talking, one of the worst parts of a funeral, I believe, is one of my pet peeves. It gets me when people say, line up if you want to say something about somebody.
Lord help me.
Man,
You
That's
only
when
got
you
two
I get
minutes. You only
that's
got two
nah.
minutes.
And
I'm like,
no one listens to the 2 minute rule. No one. That's when I put my finger up and I dip out the side. I ain't got time. No, I
I'm
feel you on
telling you,
that.
man. That's why my mom's. I made it. My mom, and God bless her. So we had this conversation about
Uh,
life and what we should do, and she gave me instructions on what to do and so forth and so on. And she said, "We're not having a lot of people. We're gonna have maybe three."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it. But back to it, man. Yeah, it's just our
Uh,
just the thought of us not being here, not being around our family,
yeah.
not being here to for our loved ones. It's something in our spirit as we're living that we don't really want to think about, but you have to have that conversation. It's something that has to be done. And I'm so glad that it did get done. And we're planning on having another seminar again. I'm gonna keep
Okay. Yeah. Educating. Yeah.
educating. Yes, it's important.
So, okay. So going back a little post that moment and going
Sure.
forward, let's say you hadn't done it. Let's
Mm,
say you hadn't taken the initiative, right? Now you've been blessed in life, man. You had a phenomenal career.
well,
You're doing your thing. That may not be someone else's story
it's true.
from a career standpoint. Okay. But let's say, even with your success, you still didn't like plan on or working hard to pay for a funeral. You don't go to work every day in hopes of paying a funeral one day. So even from your level of success in your career, and then someone passes that didn't take care of that matter, would it affect you financially, even a
Oh,
little bit?
absolutely, been devastating. It would have been
Okay.
devastating. Not only not only monetarily, emotionally, because
Yeah.
see, you're already dealing with a loss of a loved one that you care about so much.
Sure.
Now you take the financial burden of that, and that's adding on top of that already emotional state that you're in. And then
Hmm.
it becomes one of these snowballs that just snowballs out of control, and then you just lose your mind. You just don't know what to do. I don't have the
Yep.
money. I'm dealing with this emotional problem. I don't know what to do. I'm going to lose this. I'm going to lose that. So you're really thinking of it's just you turn into a wreck, man. And I've seen too many people go through it, man. And it hurts my spirit to see them go through that. It's
Yeah.
inevitable. It's
And
inevitable.
but fortunately, in your story and as a family, our story is that you were able to jump on it ahead of time.
Yeah.
That moment you said, "Mom, we need to do this." And regardless of her response, you said, "Sweetheart, I
Yeah.
need you to. We're gonna do this though, right?"
Yeah.
And then at a later date, hey, am I correct in saying, AJ? Because you called me sometime like maybe 4 years ago ish, and you said, "Hey, I think Dad may be looking to get more coverage on
Sure.
Grandma." Is that right, guys? I think that's what
Yeah.
happened, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
Sure.
what happened. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
to cover the expenses.
yeah.
The one thing too, though, Mondo, that I had that I was blessed to have too, which a lot of people don't have, is a relationship with their mother or loved one or whoever. And
Hmm.
I was able to convince her that this is the right thing to do. Now, far as, but so you have to lay out why it's important um,
Correct.
for them in order for them to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to look at it. And I think that's an important thing to have that conversation before it's had, because I'm restructuring right now. I'm restructuring my will and my living will and what else do you call that? Living will
Trust.
and trust. I'm doing that
Yeah.
right now, redoing that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and it's those things you have to do. There's things we don't think about, but it has to be done. And
Yeah.
this insurance thing is at the top of my priority list.
So I love the fact that you're willing to share this, man. This is blessing a lot of people, bro. Like more than you know, because there are people who are scared to look at the reality. Like the reality is the boogeyman of death is in the corner, if you want to call him that.
Yeah.
And there's too many people that are afraid to look up and address it. If you address it, he turns into a teddy bear.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
he's still there though, because
Oh, he's not going
but
anywhere.
yeah, and we still don't want to have to deal with him. But when we have to deal with him, we're prepared.
Yes.
We're
Yes. Oh, you
prepared.
don't deal with them.
Oh, you gonna deal with him?
There's no way of getting around it. You're going to deal with them
You're
one way
right.
or another. You rather be
Exactly.
prepared than not be prepared. And that's the thing. You rather be prepared than not be prepared. That's all I always say. You know what I mean? It's like when people have their faith, you know what I mean? They say, well, I don't know if I believe. Well, that's okay. All right. I'd rather knowing than not.
Right.
Just
I was like, all right, then.
And honestly, that's one of the things I find with our industry, Mondo. It was like the pandemic was a blessing in that sense, because a lot of people really face their mortality, right? It
Yes.
really showed everybody that, hold up, wait a minute, I may not be promised tomorrow,
Yep.
right? And we seen it in our industry. We've seen with different agents. We started just the hike and increasing of that conversation being more easier and more open, especially with people in the elderly fashion, where before it was like, oh, baby, God got me, I'm good. To now
Yeah.
it's like, hold up, let's really talk about this now.
Hmm. Yeah. It's amazing what when reality smacks you in the forehead,
sure.
right? And you get faced with a bad health report or you know, your loved one passes or the pandemic where you just see your classmates falling off, you know,
Oh
people now
yeah,
hearing all these stories and different things. And then that fear sets in. And I think,
absolutely.
I think honestly, man, I would encourage, I know you guys would agree, I would encourage people to establish a healthy fear, the fear of not doing something.
Mm,
What does that look like for your family? I want you to picture in your mind, what does it look like if I don't get my affairs in order and get this insurance to protect them? I'm scared of what's going to happen to them.
mm,
Have that fear versus the fear of, man, I'm scared to invest that $80 a month.
mm.
I mean, I could do something. I'm scared to talk about my death, Aaron.
Yeah, but
I
that's a cop out though, because
right.
they're not afraid to buy some Jordans. They're not afraid to, you know what I mean? They're not afraid to go on these trips and all this other stuff. They're not afraid to do
Their
that.
phone bill.
Hang out with the girls, hey,
Yeah,
they do
exactly.
that, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to your life and love, and I put this also out there too. Thank God that I got the insurance what I did before my mom got it terminally ill, because that's when
Oh,
insurance go get higher. So you want to
or
make
it
sure
proved
that
it
you get
all.
into this.
Yeah, or proved it all. Yeah. Hey, that's a great point.
You know what I'm
That's a great
saying?
point.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of young people that's passing away too. They just saw a young kid that was a great athlete from LSU just die. You know what I mean? Just die. I don't know what he died from, but he just died. You know what I mean? So, you know, the younger you get these people insured, you get insurance, the better you're off moving
Yeah.
forward in life, right?
Yes.
The
Yes.
premiums are lower, things are lower because you don't have now these other things that's, you know, bad heart or cancer or anything, things that's going to affect your insurance, so forth and so on.
Hmm.
So the earlier you get it, the better off you're going to be. So I encourage you to get it as early as possible. Like
Right. Right. Yeah,
now,
like today.
like
Yesterday.
today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's huge, man. So I love this because your passion, it jumps through the screen, man. That's one of my favorite traits that you have, man. It's just you, it's obvious when you're into it. And we have that together.
It's real.
I'm gonna go in on one more thing. You can join me. I'm gonna go in on this one thing right here. GoFundMe
Mm.
is not insurance.
Talk about it.
I think honestly, man,
Ooh,
in some kind of way, I say this very loosely, somewhat appreciative that there's a way for people who haven't done their business to try to salvage it a little bit.
yeah,
Okay, I get it. There's a way for us to kind of clean up the mess.
right.
Why is there a mess?
Mm,
And I mean, I heard somebody tell me, bro, this lady told me, well, they could just do a GoFundMe. Oh, okay. So we're gonna put your life on as a burden on the community because you don't want to do right by your. Mm, okay.
yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
I
I
don't know
mean,
what that
I
is.
got a lot of choice words I'll say for another time. but,
The Save
but
Money Playbook after dark.
yeah, after dark, that's it. But I'm telling you, man, it's so I hope that people are listening to Aaron and hearing his story and hearing the words of encouragement and advice and what AJ's saying. It's like, but we see it, man. We see these different things where people will say, you know, I'm gonna just kick the can down the road. My kids are smart, they got it. What does they got it mean?
That's a
What
great.
does that mean? When someone says, no, I don't need that insurance, baby, I'm straight. What does I'm straight mean?
You know, a lot of kids don't even wash their dishes. You know what I mean? You're gonna rely on them to take care of you while you gone.
Man, it's what you said.
A lot of kids don't even clean their rooms up, make their bed, but you
Right.
rely on them to take care of your affairs. What we talking about? Well, I mean, what we doing?
Right. It's true though. It's true.
Come
So
on now.
so say for instance, you know, so being in the industry, and I think, you know, because Aaron, you're so resourceful and you think things out. You know, when I got into the industry, I started talking to my folks, you know, about their business, and they did a really good job of getting things in order, but I didn't know everything.
Right.
Right. So I asked, I said, okay, that'd probably be good for me to have an idea of what's going on. If this is for us, I could probably need to know about it. Oh, yeah. So they did their thing. That's cool. But it made me really think. I say, wait a second. Okay. I'm in the industry and I'm helping my parents, and they did the best they knew to do. We still tightened some screws down a little bit in some areas. And it's like, man, okay, how many people are taking that initiative with their folks,
Mm,
like Aaron took with Aunt Pat?
yeah.
Like, how many people are taking that initiative to say, I probably need to talk to mom, probably need to talk to dad. You know what? Let me talk to my aunt and uncle too, because they're very close to us. And I know if they die, it's going to ripple effect and hurt me over here.
It's a fact.
One of the things I used to say to families all the time in houses when I would sit with them, I would say, okay, now we have you straight. Let's talk about the people that are around you. And they're like, what do you mean? Okay. For instance, people in your sphere, your friends, your close family members, if they were to die, is there someone that you're close enough to where people will ask you for money to pay for their funeral?
Mm,
Who would that be? So we need to help the community get covered, right?
absolutely.
Imagine what a community could look like, Aaron. This is down your wheelhouse right here. So I'm gonna let you roll with this.
Hmm.
Imagine if everyone in a particular community was insured. There'd be no begging for money. You wouldn't have the burden of how to pay for funerals and cremations and services. You wouldn't have to do any. Everybody's good. We're protecting everyone from each individual death because everybody's covered.
Right.
Does that strengthen a community or no? It's kind of rhetorical, but is that
Absolutely. 1000%. We can't take out the pride factor too, right?
okay?
There's a lot of people in communities, especially our own community, where we have a lot of pride and taking care of our own affairs, right?
Mm,
So we don't want nobody to think that we're not straight. I'm good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about me. I'll be cool. Everything's 1000 over here, partner. You know what I mean? But yeah, something happened to you. The first thing out there, your people out there asking me for some change, knocking on doors and talking to the church. You know what I mean? We dip
Barbecues,
into
car
some church
washes.
ties. Hey, all types of things. You know what I mean? To take care of our own family. If
mm,
we need to take care of our own family. We need to take care of our family, and so we don't have to put our pride on the line. Let's take care of our business. Let's do some house cleaning. Let's do some self-evaluations. What is important? It's important that when I'm gone, I'm at peace. I always talk about happiness versus peace. And I was
yeah.
talking to my daughter about this. I
Okay.
said, happiness is cool. You know what I mean? Happiness come and go, right? I'm happy one
Right.
minute, I'm sad the next, so forth and so on. But man, to find that inner peace, it's nothing like it. Like
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
peace. When
Yeah.
you have peace, you could be happy, sad, whatever,
You
but
still
I'm
have
at
peace.
peace. So
Yep.
peace of mind to know that if something happened to moms, grandma, granddad, daddy, I'm at peace because we took care of our business.
Man.
That's what you want to be at. Are you at peace? Are you comfortable right now with your situation if something happens to your family, your mom, dad, grandfather, so forth? Are you at peace with that? Are you sure everything good? Are you sure? If you're
Yep.
not, then you need to handle that ASAP.
So to pounce off of what you said, when you said, "Are you sure? Are you good?" Okay. If your family member says to you, "Yeah, I'm good," I want them to quantify that. Explain what that means. Write it down. Show me. Get the policy. What's the face amount? What's the company? How much you paying? How long you had it? What kind of policy? Seriously, if you're, bruh, I know if Aunt Pat would have told you, "Oh, baby, I'm good. I got a policy." Aaron Lavender Sr. would have been like, "Okay, mom, who's it with? Show me. I need to see
Show
it.
me what's
Give me
happening.
a
Yeah.
copy.
I need receipts,
I
Bob.
need a receipt."
I need some receipts.
Right. So I think, and part of it, if you're a person that's saying, "Oh man, I'm not really feeling this conversation," okay, I'm gonna plug into your selfishness for a second.
Right.
Here, what we're gonna do: protect yourself, dadgummit.
Mm,
Because if you love someone and they're close to you, do know if they die before you, there's a bill about to smack you upside the head.
fact.
So take care of yourself, man.
That's a fact.
Take care of yourself. It's like I wanted my parents to get more taken care of and do different things, so that way I wouldn't have a burden. Man, I'm about to have 5 kids, bro.
Woo.
I got four, one on the way. I don't need a funeral bill adding to the monthly expenses. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
So guess what I'm gonna be? A little selfish, responsible, and say, you know what, Selena, kids, let me protect our TP, our little hut,
Yep.
by making sure our loved ones outside of the hut
Mm,
take care of their responsibilities, so that way it doesn't hit our four walls and
mm,
knock it down. So so I don't care how you want to swing it from that selfish point of view, taking care of yourself or being selfless or whatever. But I'm telling you, with the things that three guys have said today, you can't wiggle out of it. You have to take care of this, man. And I would love for our community, black and brown community, for real, to get off our behind. Stop being prideful, right, Aaron?
That's that pride, man.
Stop being
Kill
prideful,
you every
man.
time.
Stop
Kill you every time.
using words like I'm straight, we good. What does that mean, man? You're not gonna say that when that funeral director come hit you upside the head with a $16,000 bill. You ain't gonna say, "Oh, I'm straight." I'm straight. Don't pay it.
Huh. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. I straight. I ain't never met them before.
ain't about to either. I mean, AJ, bro. So you've been in the business like what, 6 years now? 5, 6 years? 5 years? How many times have you heard this or seen this? It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. And the way that I broke it down, especially when I was looking at it, because there's a huge myth when it comes to it, especially with our community, right? Like one is like insurance is too expensive. I can't afford it, right? Or I can't get qualified for it. But actually, when you break it down, especially what a lot of people don't realize is there's so many different pillars of insurance, right? As we know, one of your basic one, as we know, is final expense insurance, what we're talking about right now. It is one of the most affordable price products of insurance that you could get. Again, that protects your whole family plus more of the community. And when you break it down, it's a price of a Big Mac meal at McDonald's a week. Now let that sit in.
And we know some of y'all like them Big Macs, so don't even front.
With cheese and pickles and add all that.
Yeah. A Big Mac a week will get you some insurance.
A Big Mac a week.
The interesting thing, son, you're right. You're absolutely right. But I even break it down to this. You have house insurance.
Yep.
Have car insurance.
Yep.
You have, because you try not having that and let your house burn down. What's going to happen?
Boy, you're going to be hot.
Try to get into a car accident. Try getting in a car accident and don't have insurance. See what happens.
You're going to be hot.
You won't take the time to get yourself insured or someone that you love insured.
Boy, I'm a poke a bone. You know why, Aaron?
I'm just talking.
But still, okay, here's why. I think for a lot of people, they don't want to address it and be honest with themselves. Life insurance, for the most part, especially when it comes to final expense, it's a product that you will never experience. If you're buying on yourself to cover your family from your death, you're gone, they experience it. So sometimes the value of it is because, well, it's kind of like out of touch. Well, that's for them. Yeah, it is supposed to. It's one of those things where, because you don't directly experience it, you don't feel the importance of it, the gravity of the matter, because it's I'm gone, I'm dead. So that's for them. Yes, it is. It should be just as important, if not more. But people kind of, toss it away like a little wash rag because, yeah. But my phone though, my car, my phone, my car, all this other stuff. I experienced all that, and I'm having a grand time.
You dig it? Hey, there's a reason why. Listen to me, public out there who's watching this. There's a reason why it's called life insurance and not death insurance, because it's for the life that's living. It's for those that's living. When you're dead, you're dead. There's nothing you can do about it. It's for those that are left behind. It's called life insurance.
Man,
say it louder for the people in the back.
Yes.
It's not called death insurance. It's called life insurance.
And man, I'm telling you, we are, dude. This is like the best like linebacker crew right here, because we ain't let nobody get through the A gap. This is so crazy. It's so crazy, man. But you're so right though, man. You're so right. So what's the encouragement, Aaron, after your experience? It was great in the sense of that you didn't have to worry about the financial burden. It was already enough to deal with.
Sure. I keep going back to peace.
Yeah.
Inner peace. Yes, sure. You're going to be sad. You're going to go through moments and all this other stuff. You're going to have your moments. Sometimes you don't even break down at the funeral because it's not you're going through this grieving process. It's different for everybody.
Right. Sure.
You know what I mean? But the one thing that you can't take control of is to make sure that you're at peace with everything else financially, and the insurance is in place, that you don't have to worry about that. That peace of mind, you can't put a monetary value on the peace of mind that you have knowing mom is good. Mom is good because she took care of her business. Now that's when she say, I'm good. I'm good because we took care of it. See what I'm saying? That's what it means when you ask the question, I'm good. You know why I'm good? Because I took care of the insurance. I'm good. I'm peaceful, son. I'm at peace.
And proud of it.
And proud of it. I don't want the burden to fall on y'all. You know what I mean? Me and my mom had 3 hours, man. We spent just kicking it. You know what I mean? Just kicking it about, her life and what we're going to do, and making sure that she's good. And being good means taking care of the business. Making sure that the business is taken care of. Man. Once that's taken care of, everything else will fall into place. But having that peace of mind, man, there's nothing like it. You can't put a value on it, bro. You just can't put a value on it.
Love it.
Times happening. And those that's watching know that as well. They've probably been a part of helping people get paid, helping people with the GoFundMe, hearing people say, oh man, we can't afford my, so and so, whoop-de-whoop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You can do something about it.
Yes, you can. So well said, man. I will let those last words simmer and resonate with the people, man, because that's what I wanted them to hear from you. You've lived through it. You've been through it. You've taken care of your business, and we appreciate your authenticity, man, your transparency. That's how you are. That's how you lead. That's how you live life, man. So I'm sure it's going to bless a lot of people when they hear your story and how it came about, that you took the bull by the horns and you said, we got to make sure it's taken care of. I'm not going, the mom says she's straight, but I want to find out what that means. And, okay, we got to handle some business. I love that. I love that, man. That's awesome, man. AJ,
I couldn't do that to my kids. That's why I told my kids, y'all make sure, we gonna be straight, because I'm gonna make sure
y'all straight.
We straight.
Yeah, we straight.
Yeah. Oh man, I love it. I love it.
Hey, real talk, man.
AJ,
thank you, man. Thank you for even having this conversation.
Yeah,
this conversation is important, man.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, we have fun, we joke around and this, that, but there's no laughing matter when that day comes and you don't have that money or the financial freedom or just the peace of mind to know that everything is all right.
Yes.
I mean, because sooner after the funeral was done, you know what I mean? You go through this, people give you, I'm sorry, so forth and so on, and their condolences and all this other stuff. And then, then you're by yourself. You have to live with that. Just imagine dealing with that grief after the funeral and still have this big bill like, oh, what am I going to do?
Bro, man. And we're just beautiful. It's beautiful that you are one of the good stories that have gone through bereavement.
Yeah.
Right. We've unfortunately have heard so many of the opposite, but hopefully that this story can change the trajectory of some people that are listening to say, you know what? Let me stop being prideful. There's nothing wrong with not knowing, man. There's nothing wrong.
Let me ask you this, Mondo, and maybe these people need help, or AJ, one of you guys can answer that. How do you get someone to have the conversation in the first? Because I know how easy it was for me.
Yeah.
How would you approach that? If someone says, well, I might want to do that, but I don't know how to approach a loved one to do. How would you approach that situation to have a conversation?
Well, honestly, you have to have a certain level of kindness and boldness at the same time.
Agreed.
Compassion and boldness. You cannot be combative. This is my suggestion. Okay. This is my opinion.
Right. Sure.
You cannot be combative, argumentative. You got your insurance yet? How come? You need to get none of that. None of that. It's so, hey, have you thought about your affairs? As far as your funeral, your final expenses, has that something that you've taken care of or thought about? No. Okay. All right. Would you be interested or opposed to talking about that? How we can make sure we take care of the family, yourself? There's some people I know that could probably help us and guide us through, and if you don't know anyone, I can probably find someone for us. You come to people, generally speaking, you come to people and you speak with them.
Yeah.
Because I think when you come combative, it's almost sounds shaming.
Absolutely.
It's shaming, like, well, you ain't done it yet. I mean, that's how they take it.
Yeah.
Right. But it's really trying to solve a problem, not pick a fight.
That's right.
Right.
So if you just come to people with compassion, with respect, and being solution minded to say, hey, have you taken care of your final expenses and all that stuff yet for your family? Oh man, no, I've been meaning. Hey, I get it, man. You know, life gets busy and all that. Hey, do you know of anyone that can get it taken care of? I might be able to find someone. We can have a conversation, learn together about how we can get that matter taken care of and just be done with it forever. We just get it taken care of. That's the cool thing. You could take care of it one time, Aaron.
Yes, sir.
One time,
Yes, sir.
once. That's it. So that's my 2 cents. AJ, what do you think, man? Like, that's just my approach on how I would do it, but there's no.
Yeah, like 100%. That's the way you got to go. You almost have to like we always said, hold their hand through it all. And again, like you said, it's more compassion more than anything. And the way I always like talk about just like going into the conversation is using real life, like a real life story. Like if you guys are watching this, hey guys, or you go into a loved one, hey, I just watched this YouTube video, Aaron was speaking about this here, and he was talking about his tribulations and everything like that. Do you have something in place already? Like bringing it as that sense, or like, hey, I saw on Twitter or YouTube or these people doing GoFundMe accounts for, a surprise death that happened and now they're upside down. They're trying to raise 20 grand. Do we have something in place right now that can cover if something this freakishly happened? Or, I saw, Mr. Johnson passed away. He was 80, didn't have anything else. And I saw their family, doing this fundraiser and stuff like that. And I seen the emotional drain that they had. Do we have something in place to be able to combat that? Or it's coming from it as that type of a sense where it's more like a passion about future proof and everything rather than, like you said, coming combatives like, oh, you need to get something in place right now, this and that. It's really, like you said, putting that future sense into someone's mind and like, oh yeah, I did hear about that. I saw the obituary. I saw the emotional drain that they had. Let's have that conversation now. It opens the doors up more, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. And that's why I asked you the question, because what I call is the sandwich technique. And I use this in everything I do, like in business and so forth and so on. You don't ever want to come in hot. We talked about the Big Mac sandwich, so forth and so on. Take that first layer of the bun. That's the softness. That's when you come in like, hey, just coming out of love. Like, have you thought about, so forth. You don't come in hot. It's that soft. Then you get to the meat. Then you get to because this is what happens. We're all going to die and so forth and so on. And then you give that other bun to say, but I'm doing this because I love you. Because I don't want that, problem in our family. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you come in soft, get to the meat, and then you reinforce it with the love again to say why this is important.
Yes.
And it's call it the sandwich technique. And it works most of the time when you're doing things of that nature. So
yeah, man. I love the sandwich technique, Aaron. I would steal that illustration, but I'm a big boy and I can't keep talking about food all the time. So, Big Macs and sandwiches and vinegar, sugar, and all this other stuff. It's like,
yeah.
Hey man, hey, big boy talks like, why Mondo's illustrations always got food involved? Like, because Aaron keep giving them to me.
Everybody understands food though.
Right. Man, I heard this, and we'll leave with this. Thank you for all that, man. I heard this a while ago. Is that when you're a real man, you take care of your family, you provide, you protect, you do all those things, you love unconditionally, all that stuff. And I heard a gentleman tell me one time, he said, that's majority of it. There's one more piece. I said, what? Take care of him when you're dead. I said, my man, I feel you on that.
That's real talk.
Yep. So with that said, man, we got Aaron Lavender, my man, my cousin. We got AJ Lavender and your boy Mondo here with the Safe Money Playbook, teaching you how to get some X's and O's in place so you can keep your money safe. We love you. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.